too. And so I suggested it to Vince and he said, that sounds like a good idea because she could, never hurts to practice.
Yeah, excellent. Well, I'm glad to have you here. That's awesome. What a privilege to have you. My goodness. I thought I did hear from Vince. He gave me a heads up because Danny wants to join the class. I'm like, oh, okay. And I saw Journey got on the network, on Mighty
Oh,
Network.
good. Yeah, she said
Yeah.
she's signed up and stuff, so that'll be good.
Awesome. Awesome. Well,
Well, I mean,
cool.
as from just a normal layperson, Danny, it's a very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Having the forum been really influential, I wasn't expecting to encounter you, so it's a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. I do like to pop in on the classes just to get a chance to meet everybody and stuff like that and check in and see what's going on.
Yay. We just got back from an instructor weekend, and I think Danny probably enjoyed teaching quite a bit too. Yes, and
It was fun.
yeah,
I go to those things. I enjoy learning as much as I teach, it's always, I always learn something.
yeah, ditto. Me too. All right, we're waiting for hi Biao. I don't see you, but I can see your name, and so it's actually just going to be three of us today. So we're waiting for Anna, and Jan and Allison split off and are going to be with Vince today doing the ChiWalking stuff.
Okay.
So you get me today, and then next week Vince and I are going to switch, and we're just going to keep switching off until the ChiWalkers are done with their class, and then it'll be back to me and Vince teaching this class until you guys are done in February or whenever that is. So that's the plan. But yeah.
I have a question. I know it may not come up for a while, but being weighted is a bit of my everyday life, whether or not, running with a light pack or just a rucksack going through town. And I was wondering if maybe you could provide some insight or on how to do that with mechanically and the idea of just counterbalancing maybe or how that works. So be very interested in any ideas on that.
Well, I would love to hear Danny's input on that one too. My first response would be, what do you feel when you have that pack on? What are you noticing for starters?
I think there's a couple things. One is the weighting of the pack so that it's unobtrusive in itself and that it just feels like a solid piece aligned to my body. And if I'm not feeling it pulling me anyway, then I feel that it's balanced probably correctly. What I think I feel I tend to need to do is to bend at the waist. To bring the weight of my upper body in line with my lower half, but that's actually pulling me down.
Yeah.
And then causing my quads to actually have to pull myself up.
Yeah.
And that's what I can't figure out how to shift that weight. Whether or not that's just 3 liters of water or if it's 15 pounds of gear, like how that works.
Yeah. Danny.
Well, I can give you, I wanted to welcome Anna.
Yes, oh my goodness, what a great surprise.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I'm so excited. Seriously.
It's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we're talking about running with a weighted pack, and there's a number of things to watch for, so you might want to take notes. But first of all, it's how you distribute the weight in the pack, obviously. You want to get as much of the weight close to your spine as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have cinch straps on your pack, cinch all the pack down so it doesn't, nothing shifts, right?
Yeah.
And then, you want to, make sure you use your chest strap and your waistband to keep that snugged, like you got a little, monkey hanging onto your back. So, and the less movement in any direction you have, the better for you.
Okay.
Okay, and I would even, this gets a little tricky, but I would shorten up the shoulder straps so that the pack rides a little higher than it usually does.
Okay.
Okay, and that's because you really want to free up your waist to turn. If the pack is sitting on your hips, you lose any amount of pelvic rotation. You just can't do it. So if you're hiking or you're running up a hill or whether you're running on flat or whatever it is, you want to free up your hips. So you don't want your pack necessarily resting on your hips. If you're carrying a lot of weight, you have to rest it on your hips. But then you lose any pelvic rotation. So you have to stick with a pretty steady stride length. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, and backpacking, you cannot, if you're carrying 35, 40 pounds, you're going to be cinching your pack right here at your waist. And then as the weight falls, it rests down on top of your iliac crest. And when I was first learning chi running, I asked the exact same question, William. And I tried loosening the straps on a heavy backpack, 35 to 40 pounds, and seeing if I could use pelvic rotation inside the loose pack. Doesn't work. It really doesn't.
No.
You got to have, when you're carrying that much weight, you got to have the pack pretty close to your back, and you just have to use short strides and ankle relaxation. So you're doing a modified ChiWalk, but you really can't rotate. Now, that said, with a lighter pack with 10 or 15 pounds, like if you're like during an ultra or a very long run, when I'm carrying 10 pounds of water and gear, I can use my pelvic rotation that Danny's talking about. And the pack is cinched onto my back, but it's not sitting on my hips because it's only 10 or 15 pounds.
Yeah.
So that said, one other thing I would add to that is that the 15 pounds, you can still maintain your posture and alignment. You need more core strength.
Okay.
You need more, but you need to maintain that alignment. If you're finding that you can't, that you have to, break at the waist, or you can't, you're holding onto your shoulders real high, then you probably can't run with it per se. Well,
Okay.
does that
stick with walking when you get to that point?
Yeah.
I would add on to what Cheryl said by keeping your alignment. And what's important to realize is that, if you have a body, standing this way and a pack is hanging on the back, you have just shifted your center of mass rearward. The center mass of your whole body shifts rearward. So in order for you to be balanced, if you have a pack, you have to fall at a steeper angle from your, let's see, I got the pack on the right side. Here's the pack.
There you go.
It will help.
So as you, you'll need to fall a little more forward in order for the total sum of your center of mass is still in the right place to be a little bit ahead of your feet. You see what I mean?
Okay.
So it'll feel like a steeper fall than you usually do, but that's because your backpack is pulling you backwards. So you have to maintain, like Cheryl said, you're going to have to get a lot more core strength. So planks and all kinds of stuff like that. Planks with a backpack on,
Yeah, right.
So something for you to be able to maintain your alignment as you fall at a steeper angle, but don't bend at the waist. Yeah.
I think that
out of
makes
whack.
a lot of sense. And I was trying to compensate that. Where do I find that center of gravity
Just got to feel for it.
without maintaining alignment, really? And so I was sacrificing that, and to keep it in the core makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Practice on the flat, that's the best. Practice on a flat surface and then work your way into hills.
Yeah, good question, William. And you are certainly strong enough. I mean, I've seen you run in videos that you're certainly strong enough that you could probably carry 20 pounds and maintain your alignment. But yeah, don't change it. Don't change it. If you feel like you are, then back off. Yeah,
Okay.
so slow down. Slow down big time for starters.
Hire a mule.
Well, I mean, that's the thing now, these Strava mules, so maybe
There you go, right? Anna,
Get-
how are you? How's it? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, William. Finish up.
No, I was just saying get a better time and not have to carry anything. It sounds good.
Right? Anna, how are you? How's life? How's running?
Oh, well, life has been a little bit busy this week because my mom spent at least 5 days at the hospital. She
Oh,
almost lost the vision in one eye, so that was very scary for all of us. But she had yesterday's fantastic surgery. It was very good, and now she's feeling just really better. So the recovery is very fast. I'm
Okay.
surprised. We are all pleased, but you spent almost the whole week just in doctors, hospitals, trying to work, trying to do my running. So, just the usual.
the
Normal life,
usual.
normal
Oh
stuff.
my gosh.
Yeah, but that was good. That was good. So I just trying to focus this time. Again, my shoulders, the rotation. That's something that I have to switch down to shift from the shoulders. That's what's something that you noticed.
Yeah.
To really just keep it at the center, keep it at the pelvic, yes, section
Good.
of my
So
body.
you've had a little time to run and practice, but it sounds like you're a little bit stressed emotionally with your mom's care.
Yes, but now everything is fine. So
Okay.
was good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but
Bless
yeah,
you.
I have to admit, I'm not a stressed person, but yeah, we were worried because vision, is so important for
Yeah.
everyone, and yeah, we didn't know the extent of it, but then yeah, we were able to go to understand, and also it was possible for the doctor to really apply a good treatment, and also the surgery yesterday. So in
Okay.
probably 2 weeks she's gonna be fine. So wow.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, how was your gathering
Oh, it's
last
fabulous.
week, please?
Yes, it was good. Phoenix was wonderful. Danny was there with us, and we had a lot of the instructors show up, and we all learned a lot and taught each other a lot and had some fun too. So it was a beautiful weekend. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, when I project myself in 2 years from now, is something that I would like to live with you guys.
Excellent.
Where are you? Where do you live, Anna?
I live in Montreal and in Canada.
Oh,
and in
Montreal.
Canada, but I'm Colombian, so I have a lot of fellow runners in Colombia too.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes, so that's one of my goals, is to teach in French and also in Spanish.
Great.
Excellent.
Right.
Biao, are you there? We still can't see you, and we don't have audio on you at all. So we'd like to see you. Where are you? There he is.
I'm here. I'm at work.
Okay. All right. Are you going to participate with us today?
I'll try to do as much as I can.
Okay. So, all right. Well, should I be calling on you, or are you not able to participate with the lessons?
Maybe at the end I can be more active.
Okay. All righty then. All right, you guys, last week we ended with the posture lesson, and we ended with the test for how to show that your posture is aligned. Remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And we talked about the different tests. So who wants to start with teaching those tests? You want to open up your network, your community to the table of contents, and you can look at those real briefly, real quick. Take a look.
Yeah,
Remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, of course, when you are doing those tests, just to the weight shift exercise, that is to just check your balance side to side, or when you pull down to the front, also
Okay.
just to feel the difference. Just being, when you don't engage your core, that you just can easily fall down and just lose your column, and also pulling down someone else when he's not engaging her or his core. So that type of exercise.
Those are the ones I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay.
So William, why don't you teach one of those to us? Like, I'm your student. Teach me one of those. You've just gone through the posture lesson. You've taught us how to set up our posture, set up our column. Now you're going to show us how that works with the lessons that Anna just, the test.
I'm just trying to find where you are in the lesson. As you know, I wasn't here last week. You went on to the ankle lift, so I wasn't expecting to come back to posture. So I'm just looking for the test.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to Anna. William, in the meantime, look in posture lesson is lesson number 2, where it says posture. Click on that and scroll down. And I forgot that you weren't here last week. But scroll down and look. Did you look at the recording at all? Did you get a chance to look at the recording?
It's not posted yet, I don't think.
Oh, I think it is, unless I blew it. It's just
Because it
possible.
would have been the 3rd week on posture.
True.
2.
Okay, well, my bad. I'll check again. It's quite possible I didn't make it live, but I thought I did. Okay, no worries. Let's go through it. Anna, why don't you teach the first test of, when you're testing and you're showing them the effects of good alignment. And go ahead and unmute your computer.
Sorry, I don't have my spot of last week, so I'm in a smaller room today.
Okay, no worries.
Because we are taking care of mom.
Okay.
But, I have like a sort of weird background here.
You do have a sort of weird background. I'm not sure how to change that.
Yes. Actually, I didn't. Let me see. I must be able to do this. So
yeah, I can tell you how to
okay. Yes, I have it here. Sorry. Okay, I found it. Yes.
If you go into video and you click on that menu, you see that it says blur my background. Okay.
So always it's the same principle. So you need to have your feet and your legs, just straight, just heading, to the front. You need to let your knees. Let me see if I can put this lower. Sorry for. As I said before, I don't have my. Is it better?
Yes, that's fine. That's good.
Great.
Thank you.
So of course that we need to just use the steps that we learned about how to be ready, just to have our body ready to walk or run properly. So we need to check our feet and legs first, just to make sure that we have feet and legs pointing to the front, also that we are putting our weight on the tripods of our feet, and that our knees are just loose, they are not blocked. Then that's the bottom part, and we just engage, we just lift the crown of our heads. That will help us to lengthen our whole upper body, and also to open our chest and just have enough oxygen intake when we do the activities. So when also we engage our cores, and those exercises are related to this part of our postural exercises. So we need to make sure that we that we're sitting the front of the chair, that we are engaging our lower abs. Okay, so then we try to move from just to move our weight, to shift it from left to right, and then we just do the complete opposite. We just engaging the lower abs, so we do exactly the same thing, and we can see that our pelvis is just moving from one side to the other. So the idea.
Okay, Anna.
Yes.
Anna, I'm going to stop you for just a second, okay?
Yes.
Great setting up the posture and alignment. I think you're getting that. That's good. And I just want to correct one thing.
Thank you.
When you do the weight shift exercise or the weight shift test,
yes,
you want to start them in a place where they're not engaging their core.
Exactly, it's the opposite. You're right. Yes.
Okay.
It's the opposite.
You want to tell them, you want to say, okay, everybody just hang out,
right.
You know,
exactly.
be a couch potato, you know, have your head like, you know, terrible standing, right?
Right.
And then notice, and William, if you can do this with me, go ahead and stand up, because I want you to feel this, okay? So when you are not engaged, when your core is not engaged, basically what we're saying is the hip is gonna drop. Okay, so when your core isn't engaged, the hip drops.
Exactly. The hips
Can you feel that, you guys?
What?
When your core isn't engaged, you can drop your hip. So it's not this, right?
It's more this.
You're dropping your hip.
Yes.
Can you do that, Anna?
Yes. You're dropping.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Can you feel that just popping out there where it's just totally,
yes.
I mean, there's nothing there to hold it together, right?
Okay.
And remember when we talked last week, we were talking about, you know, J-Lo or Project Runway, you know, the way models walk, right? They pop their hips out. Right.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. And they put one foot in front of the other to make it even worse, right?
Yes, worse.
Okay. Good. And then when you go back and you want to show them, okay, now can you pop your hip out, William? Can you do that? Yes. Good job. Awesome. Okay, so, and remember we talked about why this is bad. If you're landing in that one-legged posture stance that we talked about,
yes.
And if you're landing with that hip popped out, what does that do? Remember, Chi running is about injury prevention and efficiency. What happens when you pop that hip out?
That is stress your T band.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most common injuries in running, right? That IT band.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, so Anna, show me what happens when you engage your core, when your alignment is good. So go ahead and set up your alignment.
Exactly. So I set up my alignment. So I just put my feet in position. I don't block my knees. I engage my lower abs. I find, yes, so just the rest, I found I connected dots. And then when I move, so I can switch from one leg to the other by keeping my column in position.
Yes. Good job. Good job. So the difference is your core
Yes.
is engaged. And tell me, Anna, what your core is. What is your core?
My core is a group of muscles that are located in this central part of my body. And those muscles are, as we said, the big muscles must do the big work, and the small muscles, the smallest work. So the core is the most important group of muscles that we keep my posture, and also will help me, yes, to keep my column when I'm falling, being pulled by gravity when I'm moving.
Good, good, good. And there's a couple other muscles that are part of your core too. And those are those big guys right around here, right? So all this is your core.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
You'll notice that if you're standing on, everybody stand on one leg.
Yes.
If you're standing on one leg, what's contracted? This is contracted right here, actually on the standing leg. That's contracted. That's the medial, or actually the medius minimus gluteus minimus. So there's 3 sets of gluteus muscles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those guys, when they're contracted, the ones on the side here,
yes,
are the ones that are holding you up.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't strong. What happens? Boop. Your hip drops, right? That's why it's so important to have a strong gluteus set, as well as the abs and the external and internal rotators. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Obliques, rather. Okay, cool.
One thing I would add on,
abs.
Yeah.
Cheryl, one thing I would
Yeah.
add on is for Anna and William, and yeah, just like Cheryl has just done, you want to practice demonstrating the wrong side of it. So really work at showing that lateral hip going, so that you want to be an example for what you're teaching, and the visual really helps. And so really practice,
Yes.
really doing
Yes.
lateral hip.
Good. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Thanks, Anna.
Mhm.
William, have you practiced any of these? Do you want to lead one, or should I ask, or should we just move on? I can put Anna on the spot for the rest.
I can do, yes, I can try to do everything.
I think I could do the next one, the flop one.
Yeah, do that one.
Okay.
So starting from the relaxed and stable posture, with the legs hip width apart. And first, without the core engaged, if you just feel that you can kind of flop over and see how easy that is and where your body takes you. As a first step, you can kind of feel that it's quite carefree and a little bit uncontrolled. And then going into, again, that relaxed and stable posture, this time with the core engaged. And kind of feeling that whole core engaged and trying to flop over again, it doesn't happen. So you feel much more your center moving, your dantian coming out, and wanting to go into that full forward fall once the core is engaged, rather than the flopping over. So if you can feel that engagement and sort of that shift, then you know that your core is engaged, and that you're at the right next step to moving forward into the ChiWalk.
Good, William. Hey, and one other thing too, you guys, I think I kind of remember talking to you about this earlier last week, is when you have your core engaged, notice that you can still bend, but notice where the bend is. It's right here in the groin, okay? So that is okay. Okay, if you can bend here, that's okay, because why? Because that's where you adjust your posture. If you see somebody standing and they're standing with their hips forward, but they say, oh, but my core is engaged, but their hips are still forward, so they're not aligned, right? You can, if their hips, if they truly are engaged, you can push those hips rearward and they're hinging at the groin. Does that make sense? So
So
you
test
should,
in the test of the
so when you do the flop over test,
yeah.
you're not hinging, right? Because your core is not engaged. But if your core is engaged, you can do this in the flop over test.
Yeah, yeah, because the flop over is the whole back collapsing basically.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back. Yeah. You're rounding your back because there's
Pushing your
nothing.
bum out, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing that's holding. There's nothing that's holding the spine vertical, right? So you can still do this. But if you tell people to not engage their core and you show them when I flop over, yes, they're going to flop like you just flopped. Now have them set up and engage their core. And what are they going to do? They might do this. Okay. I'm giving you a little extra here right now, you guys, because this is the key to correcting alignment. This is the key right here. If somebody is standing in posture like this, and you've done the whole three steps with them, right? Bottom, lengthen, engage. And then you're going to ask them to connect the dots, and you see that they're still hips forward. If they truly are engaged, you can push their hips rearward. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go, William.
But the upper half maintains.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We call that your statue. So from here, from where your groin is up to the crown of your head is your statue, and you can move that.
Exactly.
When your core is engaged, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's, do this work in front of the mirror, you guys. I mean, I'm using the camera right now as my mirror. I'm going, okay, there's my alignment. Boom, right there. So you can feel it when you're in front of the class. You know when you're aligned. And you can move your hips back and forth like this so you can show people. Right? You can say, hey, look, everybody. And I mean, if you stand like this, your class is going to know you're not aligned. You stand like this. You say, okay, I'm just going to push my hips forward. Bink. Right? Yeah, exactly, Anna. Yep. There you go.
Good. Yeah.
The main message of this particular test is that it has two parts to it. The first part is the flop over, and the second part of it is after you correct your posture.
Yes.
So the first part, you just flop over. So what you're doing is you're imitating somebody who's like maybe the last mile of a race. They've just lost their core. They're kind of staggering forward. They're bending their whole spine forward, staggering forward, but if you just lift at the crown of your head, what it does, you've seen during the posture exercise, when you lift at the crown of your head, you immediately feel your core engage, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you can keep it simple, just say, well, just the first part of the test is to flop over. The second part of the test is to actually show people how lifting at the crown of your head really helps sustain that column. So now if you lift at the crown of your head, you can do this too, William, so you can feel it. So first do a flop over where you just flop over, where there's no core engagement. Yep, come back up. Now lift at the crown of your head, get your posture and your column nice and set. And while you're lifting, this is what I tell people for the test. while you're lifting at the crown of your head, try to flop over. You can't.
It's true.
You see, it disallows any kind of weakness in your core. So that's the aha moment you want people to see.
That's much more effective, Danny, than thinking like engaging the core, like because
Yeah.
then you're still thinking about where can I bend and where can't I bend, rather than
Oh.
removing the focus to lengthen it, and well, you just can't then.
This
Yeah.
keeps it really simple. That's what you want to do as you're teaching, is keep it as simple as you possibly can. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks,
Do you
Danny, for
flop or do you not flop?
redirecting.
That's the
Yeah.
basic question.
Yeah.
To flop or not to flop? That is the
Yeah.
question.
Yep. I was giving you guys a little bit extra there, but so thanks, Danny, for bringing me back to the basic. This is the reason why. Because you can't move. All right. Cool. All right. Who wants to do the next test of alignment? What's the next one, you guys?
Pull down.
It's a pull
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to talk about that one? This one's hard to demonstrate on Zoom, but you can act like
It's
you have
hard to
a
demonstrate, but
ghost with you.
what I understand is, yeah, because I tried with someone, that when someone is, once again, just in a natural, not very aligned posture, so it's very easy to go at the back and pull the shoulders, and the body just, just will move with the push
Yeah.
forward. Yes, very easily. It's like it takes by surprise many people. Just like, whoa, what happened there? Like the knees and bend, and yeah, the body just, it's like it's sliding forward.
Very good. Exactly. So usually how I set this up, you guys, is I have a volunteer come up in the class
Yes.
and I stand in front of that person.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tell my class that I'm going to be in bad posture. So I make it really obvious.
Yeah.
I stand there with my feet apart, my
Yeah.
hips forward, right? And then I tell my person behind me, my student, I tell them to put their hands flat on my shoulders. And this is really important. When you put your hands, have them put their hands on your shoulders. They're putting them flat down on your shoulders. They're not putting them like this, right? So have them put their hands flat down on your shoulders, and then
The
have
top of the shoulders.
yes,
Yes.
right
Top,
right there.
exactly. Yes.
Yes, and then have them push down and show how little pressure, because it should be just a very little pressure that they push down, and you are going like this, right?
Yes.
And then I have my student continue to stand behind me, and I set up my best posture. And this is a good time for you to review the steps.
Right.
Okay, we're going to start from the bottom, do legs and feet, then lengthen, engage your core. Now I'm in my best posture. Now put your hands on my shoulders and push down as hard as you can. And if your posture is good, they're not going to be able to move you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's clear.
So see if you can find somebody to partner with you on that.
Yes.
Right. It's probably one of the biggest aha moments that people will get in your class. What's that, Danny?
It's it's one of the best. And so really practice setting it up. It's like, it's a setup, and you have to practice the setup so that when they do it, it's like, whoa, but just a really nice, smooth setup, and they'll get it.
Yeah. And once I'm done, then I'll turn around, and in front of the class, I'll do it with them. And then I'll have the class partner up with each other.
With each other, yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is one you can use, you guys, if you do an introductory class. If you find a group that wants to hear you talk about chi running, and they're just letting you do it, not just for free, you're just wanting to introduce people so that maybe they'll sign up for your workshop. this is a good one to include because they really understand the foundation of Chi running is posture, alignment.
Right. Right.
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, there's one more test. And what's that? Anybody want to demo that one?
Is this the one-legged posture stance?
The
It
stance
is.
in one leg, exactly.
I-
Switching legs. Mhm.
I'm happy to try to walk through it. I just have a question because obviously I haven't done it before. Is it basically sensing an exercise of the posture in one leg?
Yeah.
Or is it a different thing we're trying to do? Okay, yeah. So if you're starting from that relaxed and aligned posture, feeling your weight on the tripod of your feet, knees over the ankles, hips over the knees, and shoulders over the hips. And then in that relaxed and aligned posture, just slowly lift up one leg and feel the weight of and you're sensing here in the body of what it feels like to be in that relaxed and aligned posture, but only on one leg now. So that you can fully sense when you're in that tree walking and running and in that full support stance, what that feels like. And you're moving around and experiencing that. And making slight adjustments to see where it falls down or where you feel more stable. Playing with that posture, engaging your core, not engaging your core, kind of sensing that entire experience and getting to be really comfortable with on one leg as you are with two legs, but really starting from the feet, going upward into that posture, lengthening at the crown, the alic process, really, without the C. But you're playing with that C, like you're playing with that control element, so you're comfortable in the posture on one leg, and
So
sensing.
so William, the C is actually connect the dots,
Yes.
right? So you always want to be connecting the dots. You always want to be checking to see if you're aligned, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. There were a couple different C uses the last lesson, and one was, I think, the continual adjustment, and I
Okay.
guess that was the point I was going on. If you're looking at that continual adjustment, then in this position you're kind of playing with that
Yeah.
that aspect. But I can see how it would be connecting the dots as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the
I could
best
do
way?
whatever. That's just where my mind went.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
So one of the cool things about the one-legged posture stance that you can talk about is, yeah, your weight is always on that one leg, and when you're one leg at a time, so your balance is critical, right? And what people a lot of times will notice when they practice going on one leg, if you just have them switch from one leg to another and then have them stop on one leg,
Mhm.
they'll notice that their balance has improved immensely. So if you're aligned,
Mhm.
every time you stand on that one leg, it's balance. If you're landing on that leg when you're running, then balance is critical, right? So a lot of people will notice, wow, I'm aligned and I can walk one leg to the other and I'm stable,
Exactly.
right?
Well, if you're doing it and you're not in posture, you're feeling all the stabilizing muscles in the ankle trying to keep you upright. Like if you're in that posture, then you're not
Exactly.
shaking. Like you might be shaking a bit, but it's not as much. You're much more controlled because your ankle's not holding you up anymore.
Exactly. And you're not, so you're not a piece of spaghetti. Remember that whole idea of needle and cotton? All of a sudden you've got this needle,
Yes.
everything else is relaxed,
Mhm.
and that's what's holding you up. So and if people have a weird feeling about that or they're not feeling balanced, redirect them back to the alignment of their feet and legs. Remember, if this is the first time they've really been told how to align their feet and they've never felt that tripod, and they're still standing on the outsides of their feet,
Mm,
if so when you set them up for this feeling, make sure you're doing the 4 steps. It gives you a chance to drill it into their brains. This is how you do posture. So they are feeling that tripod, and they're feeling soft knees and soft quads and soft butt and lengthening. And then say, okay, now just shift your weight from one side to the other, barely put your foot up. And for the first time, people are going, wow, I can stand on one leg and I feel stable. Okay. Right. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Don't be afraid to do the pull down exercise while they're in their one-legged posture stance.
Oh, there you go.
That's a second aha when they see that, gosh, it doesn't matter if you're pulling down whether on 2 legs or whether on 1 leg, it's the same. You're just as solid.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good one. Spend time on this posture lesson, you guys. And we'll talk more about posture at the end of after we go through all the lessons.
Yes.
We'll come back and start over again and review, and then we'll dig a little deeper into the weeds, so to speak. Some other stuff around posture. So if you read the lesson, you'll see some other stuff. But we're not gonna do those things right now. We're gonna move on at this point. Okay. What time is it? 4:20. Okay, cool. Let's go to lesson 3, and lesson 3 is ankle lift and ChiWalking. So we're gonna talk about that, and I'm guessing, William, you kind of read through that because you knew that's what we were supposed to be talking about today, right?
Yeah, I went through today. It was actually really, really helpful as a diversion, really. I think because I came to it with tree running, I thought of it as a practice as running and not like I've been trying to think of it more and more as walking. But in my mind, it was like, okay, now I'm running and I'm practicing this form. And I think, I missed that whole transition and the fluidity. Like I was losing that fluidness of the ankle lift when I was already using my legs. I couldn't stop using my legs, if that made sense.
Yeah.
So the transition and going through this lesson today was actually really helpful.
Oh, terrific. I love it. Okay, so since Danny's here, and I would be silly not to ask him to teach this since he's the one who created it. So Danny, you want to tell us about your Dantian and find your Dantian? You don't have to. I just want to offer the opportunity to you.
I'll just do the part where locating your Dantian and then moving your Dantian, just so you get used to what that is. And yeah, so I don't know how, this one is really hard to learn online. It's hard to learn from a instructor's manual, but I will set myself up here. Let me.
And the best thing to do, you guys, is to follow what Danny's doing. If you can stand up and do what he's doing while he's teaching, that's the best way to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Move my camera back a little bit here.
I'll cut my head off so you can see my lower.
So you can see me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So so we just went through posture. I will say one thing. People always ask me, why do you spend so much time on posture? It seems so simple. It's like this easy thing. Why don't we get on to the running already, You want to tell them if you don't have good posture, you might as well not even do the rest of the lessons. It's that important. If you don't have posture together, nothing else works correctly, So that's your base. And so always take plenty of time and emphasize to your students that they should take plenty of time with posture. That's what it does. Okay. So I want everybody to take your hands, put your thumbs in your belly button, and make this little heart shape. Yes, it's adorable. Okay, and then you take one of your pointer fingers and put it right in the middle of that heart shape. And then drop everything else. And so you can see what I'm doing. I've dropped all my fingers, but I'm just pointing my finger straight in where it's attached, straight in towards my spine. So to find your dantian is 3 inches in. That's about what your finger is. 3 inches in towards your spine. So it's in front of your spine, but it's 3 inches in from the surface. Okay. So I want you to imagine your finger going all the way in and then locate where that place is in your body. And you're going to have to do it just by feeling it and putting your mind there. It's not a physical thing. It's not your core. It's not, it's just a location. It's all. So feel where that place is. So drop your mind down into your dantian, and whatever, if you need a visualization to feel it, some people feel like it's a little glowing ball or something like that deep inside. Whatever it takes so that you can locate it and identify it in the snap of your fingers. That has to be eventually so familiar with you that it's as familiar as your hand or your nose or your ears, Really impress that upon your students to be able to go there, just find that place like that. Okay, so then I want you to stand with your feet hip width apart. Align your posture, so shake your legs out. Start with the bottom, soften your knees, and then lift at the crown of your head. And as soon as you do that, what happens? Your core engages, right?
Yes.
So you've got those three, 1, 2, 3, and then you adjust your column. Once you get into your good posture, then feel what it feels like to be in alignment, and then drop your mind into your dantian. So you have two things going on, your alignment and the location of your dantian. Yeah. Now, all I want you to do is keep lifting at the crown of your head. That's what's going to keep your alignment in place. You don't have to do anything else but just lift. And it's not a hard lift, it's just a light lift. And then you put your mind on your dantian, and all I want you to do is follow what I direct you to do. So all I want you to do is move your dantian from one side to the other. Good. And if your core is engaged, you won't do this. So if you're watching one of your students and they're moving their dantian sideways like this, you just go, no, let's go back and engage your core and align your body, because the alignment doesn't stop. Just because you're moving your dantian doesn't mean you bend. So yeah, you want to feel like a stick kind of waving in the wind. Good. You're just doing this by directing your mind to your dantian and moving it to one side, moving it to the other side. Really feel how that shifts your weight. Moves you onto one leg. Now move your dantian forward and back. Just a little bit, just enough. You'll notice that if you shift your dantian forward, your weight goes onto the balls of your feet, right?
Yes.
Shift your dantian back, it goes onto your heels. So feel what that does when you stay plumb and upright, but move your dantian forward and back. Because this is what's going to come into this lesson, is how to move from your dantian. So you need to get really familiar with this place and moving your whole column from this place. Yeah, good. This is also your center of mass. So if you look into any physics at all, if you move the center of mass of any solid object, the whole object has to move from that. Okay, if you're moving any center of mass, the whole object goes with it. So if I'm moving my center of mass, but my feet are in contact with the ground, then my whole the mass of my body will go that way or go forward and back. Okay, now come back to neutral. And then all I want you to do is go back, check in with your column, make sure it's engaged. And then all I want you to do is relax your ankles and just lift your knees. Your ankles should be so relaxed that your toes just flop down when you lift your knee up. So you're just walking in place. And walk a little bit faster. Just walk in place, but just kind of a nice rhythm.
If you can direct your video, you guys, down to your feet, I want to see your feet. And so I really want to see the relaxed ankles and so you're barely lifting your feet off the ground and you're just having, it's like your toes are dropping and your ankles are higher than your toes. You're not pointing your foot, you're just relaxing.
All done out of relaxation. Totally all done out of relaxation.
Yes.
So I'm going to exaggerate, you guys. I don't want to see this. If you can see my feet, you notice how I'm really dorsiflex? Okay, so relax your feet even more, William. Yeah, let your toes drop. Let your toes drop. You're not pointing them, you're just letting them drop.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's
Do
better.
you see my feet? I don't think so.
No, I can barely see your feet. I see some long pants.
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Anna. Let's see. There you go. Nice. And you don't have to pick your feet up that much, William. Just barely off the ground. Just barely.
Just to clear the ground. Yeah. Good. All right, so just do that. Just walk in place. Get to the point where I'm just staying in one place, just walking.
Mm-hmm.
And go smoothly between one step and the other. You're just walking.
There you go. Really relax your feet, William. More. Let those ankles drop.
Really, yeah, relax those ankles.
There. That's better. Like if I grabbed your foot in mid stride, I'd be able to, your foot would just be floppy. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Right? Your foot would just be really floppy. It'd be so
Right.
floppy. Okay.
Pretend like you're peeling a sticky note off a pad, you know?
Yeah, right.
Just peeling up.
Yes.
Okay, now while you're doing that, I'm gonna have you keep doing what you're doing. Lock that motion in, because I'm just gonna have you continue to do that, and I'm gonna give you some instruction on top of that. So you're walking in place. And then all I want you to do is, as you keep walking in place, all I want you to do is move your dantian slightly ahead of where you feel your feet touching the ground. So William, if you want to face out into the room, you'll have more room to walk.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There you go. Walk towards us,
Walking in
William.
place. Once you get that, then just keep lifting your knees and ankles. And you'll notice that you automatically move forward. Your dantian is what's moving you forward. It's not your legs. Your legs are just lifting up to keep up with the movement of your dantian. If you want to go back to where you started, bring your dantian right over your feet and then move your dantian behind you. You don't have to turn around to go back.
Oh my God, okay.
You're either moving your dantian forward or you're moving your dantian back. One or the
There
other.
you go.
You're still just picking up your feet, right?
Danny, go back to describing how the psoas can do that when you're well aligned.
Yeah, when you're well aligned, your psoas muscle attaches to the upper part of your greater trochanter, and it comes right up through your spine and attaches to the lower, L1 through L5. Okay, so as you're tall, this psoas is it's the longest muscle in your body, so it stretches all the way from the mid of your spine all the way down to your greater trochanter. It's a very long muscle. And when you stand up straight, it actually stretches that muscle. So that when you
Actually,
don't
Danny,
pick
can I
up your
make a
knees,
Danny,
It's-
can I make a quick correction? It's the lesser trochanter inside the
lesser trochanter, that's right.
inside the femur. So it's not out here on the greater trochanter.
Right,
The
it's
psoas
lesser.
goes right there, right?
Cluster.
Lesser.
Last.
So the taller you stand, the longer your psoas is stretched, and that recoil of the psoas is actually what helps lift your knee up. Rather than contraction of your quads, you're doing it from the recoil of the fascia around your psoas.
I understand. Uh-huh.
So you guys, here's a picture I'm going to show you. All right. This is a great picture. This is the front view, the anterior view of your pelvis. So the lesser trochanter is right there. See that big bump out there on the femur? That's that big bump on the outside of your leg. And the lesser trochanter is the little bump on the inside. And Danny's talking about how this muscle goes up deep inside the pelvis and it lands right under T12, thoracic 12 vertebra. That's the last vertebra that the ribs come out of, right? And so it attaches all along the spine from L1 to L5. So right here, it's a huge muscle. It's the only muscle that attaches the leg to the spine.
To the back. Yeah.
The only one, right?
Wow.
So if you're standing up in good posture, this puppy it's kind of taut. And so it can lift your leg.
Wow.
Okay, now, but if it's not taut, if it's loose because you're in bad posture, it can't lift. So if you stand up and you're walking in place, everybody do this, stand up and walk in place.
Sure.
Feel how easy this is, right? And if you put your hands right here in your groin, right, you can feel, and I have my students do this. They can feel their hip flexors are lifting their legs, but it's not a lot of effort because the psoas is the one that's lifting the leg. Now, what happens if you bend over? Go ahead and bend over and feel what is going on now.
Oh my God.
Changes. Like your psoas isn't lifting your legs anymore.
Right. What's lifting your legs? The quads, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder, not to mention the fact that it's hard on your back, right? So if you stand up again, these guys they're active. They have to be because you're flexing your leg. But what's really doing the work? Your psoas.
Right.
And another thing to notice when you're doing this with your students is notice the pressure underneath your toes. Do you feel any?
No, but if you bend over, you usually do.
Yeah, true. But you know, the coolest thing about this, I mean, this is a big aha for me, you guys. Here I am standing, walking in place, and I don't have to push off my feet in order to lift my legs.
No. It's true.
You're lifting your leg forward instead of pushing your body forward. So William, your stride is very slow, and it's really hard to get this exercise if you're stepping really slowly like you are.
There you go.
Quicker.
Okay.
Step, walk. There you go.
Thanks, Danny. That's good.
See the difference, William?
I do, yeah.
When you're doing it slow, you use too much muscle in your leg to get this done. And your stride ends up being too long. So just keep a much quicker step and take smaller steps. And as you fall, your stride length will be naturally regulated by your fall.
Wow.
You shouldn't be thinking of moving your legs to walk. You should be thinking of moving your dantian ahead of your feet. That's it. It's a big difference.
good. And this is a
You know, that's better, William.
yeah. This is perfect for you too, William, because you've got foot issues. And one of your major issues is falling forward from your center, from your dantian, and keeping your stride relatively short. So this is perfect for you.
Oh, way better. That's good.
It's helpful. I mean, because the legs are moving slower, the legs chip in. They're like, I need to wait because you're moving.
Yeah.
You don't have that inertia to prevent yourself from
Yeah.
like falling. Like you're
And then Anna, for you, just get into a nice fluid back and forth with your legs. It's just step, 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 step. It's no hesitation. It's just one after another. Then as you move your dantian forward, your legs are just naturally doing one stride to the next. Yeah. Really smooth along the ground. That's better.
Whoa. And it's incredible. It's also just giving me like more speed that I was thinking
Yeah.
to have.
So this, again, another aha moment, because people realize, like you just did, oh my God, all I'm doing is picking up my feet and moving my dantian. It has nothing to do with my legs. You know, so here you are walking around the room
Yes.
without using your legs for propulsion. That's a pretty huge aha moment. So practice this one as well.
It's true.
Practice teaching this one a lot.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's too bad I'm not now in this bigger space.
Oh, good, good. How would you go faster? If you wanted to go faster ChiWalking, what would you do?
You move your dantian further forward.
There you go.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So your head is ahead of your dantian, and your dantian is ahead of your feet. If you want to whoop, just like there.
There you go. That's it. And what would happen with your stride length as you walk faster?
It shouldn't really change that much.
Exactly.
Doesn't.
Exactly.
Any time it changes, if any, is when you finally learn to add in pelvic rotation.
Does that extend?
Yeah.
When they're first learning this, it's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Bring it in later.
Does the pelvic rotation extend the stride a little bit just because well, does it extend or does it
lengthen? It
Yeah,
does.
Yeah,
And
but
while you're
go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, because your pelvis is rotating, this is the difference. Because your pelvis is rotating, as you move your dantian forward, your pelvis rotates in the direction of your rear leg. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You're not swinging your leg forward. I mean, if
No,
you're
because the
rotating
legs
your pelvis,
go back.
you don't want to be swinging your leg forward because then you're stopping yourself.
Yeah,
You
it
want
just opens it backwards.
You want to move your dantian forward and allow your pelvis to turn in the direction of your rear leg. What does that do? It opens your stride up behind you. You never want to step forward. You never want to open up in front of your body. So whether you're running or walking, you're never stepping forward. You're only falling forward and your legs are actually going rearward. Okay.
So William, your question is a good one though, because what you're asking is keep your stride short, but once you learn pelvic rotation, yes, your stride will perhaps be longer. And in fact, as you get more proficient at ChiWalking, you can certainly have much longer stride. For demonstration purposes with your students, you want to keep your stride really short because people are going to have a tendency to want to walk conventionally, which means lengthen their stride out in front of them. So if you show them that your stride is short, and certainly rotate your pelvis while you're showing them. You don't have to say that you're doing it, but you can do it, and people may or may not notice. and they may or may not imitate you, which is fine. And if they do imitate you, you can point it out and say that that's pelvic rotation. But it's not, like Danny said, it's not the important thing right now. The purpose of learning ChiWalking is to teach people to relax their ankles so that they can take that into their running. If people go into Chi running and they don't have relaxed ankles, they're setting themselves up for injury and for pain. Okay, so that's the reason. ChiWalking isn't the right way to walk. It's just a different way that's more efficient and keeps you from getting hurt. Okay, and it's a way to learn how to run. It's a way to learn those skills you can take into Chi running.
Thank you. I think my question, and it's been answered by both of you, thankfully, is the stride lengthened just by factor of the movement of the pelvis? So it's only extending by how much your pelvis is moving, and it's partly that, but it's also partly because your leg is just getting carried back by the force of the road. Effectively.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
It gets carried back further when you run because you leave the ground. With walking, you're always on the ground, so you only have a limited stride length. That's why your stride length is short. It has to be shorter. Once you leave the ground, that rear leg can go nice and big.
Keep going back.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's a really good point. Yeah, good. One of the things that Danny taught us this past weekend, which I was really pleased with, is to demonstrate this walking backwards so that people can understand how their alignment changes with ChiWalking. So I'm going to demonstrate it, you guys, and then I'm going to have you do it. Okay, and this is how I do it with my students. I tell them to go ahead and start in good posture. So another opportunity for me to teach posture. Align your feet and legs, lengthen and engage your core. Make sure your dots are connected. Then go ahead and walk backwards. And don't worry, don't try and overthink this. Just walk backwards and notice what happens. Okay? You'll notice that when most people walk backwards, they naturally bend forward. So they naturally break and bend forward. Most people, some don't, but most people break and walk backwards that way. Okay? Once you go a couple strides, then you have them stop in mid-stride, and you'll notice that my alignment is at an angle here, right? Then have them stop here, and then now don't change the attitude of your upper body, but just walk forward and notice what happens. You're falling from your center. Okay, so go ahead and do that with me. So start, just get into your best posture.
So start up close to the camera and walk backwards from the camera. There you go.
Oh, there's a good idea. Okay. Okay, starting.
Just
Good.
reach
Walk
out behind
backwards.
you and step backwards.
And then stop so that your body is angled, right?
Yes.
So most of your weight is probably on your front leg or even. Okay, now don't stand up, just walk. And notice how you're falling forward.
Oh, yes.
Did you feel that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Wow.
Quicker steps, William, quicker steps.
I'm not.
Quicker. Uh-huh.
There you go, Anna.
That's better. That's good. Yeah.
I have one of these tiny London flats I'm trying to work with.
Gotcha.
I understand that.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You got 5 steps and you're done.
So once again, so we do some steps to the back and we stop when we are like in the middle of a stride stance. Exactly.
Yep, you're in the middle of walking rearwards.
Right. And then we just keep that position and we just start working.
Stop
Yes.
as soon as you reach back and
Yes.
touch the ground with your rear leg. That's where you stop.
Yes, okay. Okay, very good.
Hold it right there and then move back forward again.
And then I start moving. Yes.
And
Sure your
You're-
stride, William, be sure your stride is short. And remember, you're not moving your legs to walk.
No, exactly.
The whole idea is to feel.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
There
That's
you go,
better.
that's doing it. You feel that, William?
Yeah, I feel like the alignment in the back, moving backwards much. Like when I shift the dantian forward, then it's just, I'm already in alignment.
Yes,
Because the back leg is extended in
Right.
alignment. Does that
Yeah.
make, okay, yeah.
that's it.
This is probably a big aha for people, feeling how their upper body is ahead of their feet when they chi walk, you guys. So if they're struggling with this whole idea of moving your dantian forward and, you know, ankle lift, I mean, naturally, if you go backwards, you're going to take a very short stride. Most people are not going to take this huge stride to walk backwards.
No,
Okay,
exactly.
so you've automatically shortened their stride. They've changed the angle of their whole body, right? They're here instead of here.
Exactly.
So they're not upright, they're
Mm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they don't move that, they're automatically going to fall, which is kind of a weird thing for people. People get scared when they feel that feeling of falling.
It's
Especially
even
if you're working with older
scarier.
folks.
It's even scarier to walk backwards and lean backwards. Try that.
Oh my.
Right? Yeah.
That's scary.
Just,
So you're just doing what your body automatically wants to do. When you walk backwards, your upper body goes forward, your legs go rearward. And so when you switch directions, again, your upper body's going forward, your legs are going rearward. It's like same thing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So,
Okay, so let's go back to speed. You know, if you
Yes.
want to go faster, we talked about if you go faster, your stride stays the same basically, and you're falling forward from your dantian to go faster. So if your stride's staying the same and you're falling forward from your dantian, how are you creating speed?
how
Anybody?
you create the speed? Well, you need to have your whole body engage all the movement parts of the cotton parts, also to get it engaged in the movement, no? Like the arms.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, just
but if my stride length's still the same, how am I going to go faster?
if I move my dantian, well,
Yeah,
my column just go forward.
yeah.
And
That's how I go faster.
that would increase the pull of gravity. So my feet also need to keep up in order
Ah, you're getting close.
moving. Yes, like I will.
Yes. So you said it. You're getting close, Anna. Your feet have to go
Okay.
faster.
Yes. So of course, yes, you have to be directly proportional. How do you say that? Oh my God, I'm forgetting my English now. Yes, so of course you need to keep balance, to keep this body from falling directly to the ground. So you need all your parts doing.
Okay. Stop. Let me give William a chance.
Thank you.
What am I getting at, William? How do I go faster? If my stride length is the same when I'm walking, how am I going faster?
Well, it's cadence, isn't it? Like it's just a matter of
Yay!
picking up the feet. Yeah.
It's cadence.
But,
Exactly.
I mean, the cadence isn't tremendously different than what you would do with walking in terms of fluidity. Like it's coming naturally, the kind of like with the arm swing. You know, as you move, as your dantian, as you fall faster, your cadence should naturally pick up rather than you forcing it. Is that
Yes.
fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, Danny.
No, it's correct. Absolutely.
Bravo.
Because if you then consciously pick up your cadence, then you're doing it with your legs effectively.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Using more muscle. So yes,
Very
now we
good,
can.
William. Yep.
I'm gonna have to dive off, guys. I've got an 8 o'clock conference to
Wow.
go to.
Okay.
So it's nice meeting both of you. Good luck
So
with
thank you
your
for
class.
this present. That's a great, great present, and it gave us more motivation to work hard and yes, to put
Good.
all of this in practice and to be able to spread more this fantastic technique.
Thank
Good.
you,
Well, I'll
Danny.
drop in time to time. So yeah, this is not the last you've seen of me.
Thanks.
Right, thank you. So have a good one.
Later.
Yeah, thanks, Danny. It was a pleasure working with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night. Cool.
That's
Wow.
such a nice surprise, Cheryl. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, you and Vince are
Yes.
lovely, but your name is also not in the book.
That's right. Why do you
Yeah.
think I asked him to teach so much?
Well,
Yeah.
Yes. No, thank you,
Yeah.
Sharon. That's
Taken
right.
it's taken many, many years of teaching to actually have some confidence to teach with him. But I've taught with him in person quite a bit, and he has always been incredibly gracious to
Must
let
be
me teach.
fantastic, yes, to meet you guys, not just him, but you too. That's something that I'm looking forward.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was a real treat, you guys. Given how much money he charges per hour to teach people, oh my gosh, that was a gift. Yeah. Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. And his daughter Journey may join us as well. She is, yeah, she
so
is
cool.
Danny is teaching her to be an instructor.
Wow.
And so he
La creme de la creme.
yeah, so she may join us at some point as well. She just joined Mighty Networks. I saw her come on today. So yeah, that would be really fun to have Journey on. I haven't talked to Journey in years. So anyway,
Wow.
she's only 25. She just graduated from college.
Fantastic. Oh, wow.
Anyway, so guys, excellent job today. Yes, cadence is the key to increase speed. And it is the one major difference between ChiRunning and ChiWalking is cadence. In ChiWalking, cadence changes with the speed.
Mm.
You'll use your dantian to move your body forward. In ChiRunning, your cadence stays the same. Always, no matter how slow or fast you're going. So those are the major differences. And if you read this lesson, please read this lesson, because we're going to go over this again next week. I'm going to have you teach.
Yes.
I'm going to have you teach next week. I'll have you teach how to find your dantian, how to move from your dantian, how to lift your legs and what the psoas muscle is, and then how to start ChiWalking. You know, how to move forward with your dantian. That's what you should be prepared to teach next week. Okay.
Okay.
And then next we'll also talk. Then Vince is going to teach you guys next week. Vince will talk about how to change speeds, of course, and we kind of talked about that already. But he'll talk more about arm swing, ChiWalking arm swing, and then we're also going to talk about lesson 4 as well, I guess, which is what the heck is lesson 4? Arm swing. It's arm swing. So it'll kind of all blend in together. I will check and see if the video from last week, if I blew it and didn't get it posted. There's so many steps to posting that darn thing off of YouTube. I may have forgotten to make it visible. So I will make sure that it's on there, as well as this one. I'll make sure it's visible as well, so you guys can look at it. And that's all I got. Anybody questions or anything?
No, I'm just happy.
Yeah, really practice ChiWalking all the time. I mean, when I learned how to ChiWalk, that's all I did, and I still do. It's a constant battle to keep your ankles relaxed, so that when you're coming off the ground, it's like this. And you know, if you're falling from your center, You don't need to push. There's no push. It's just lifting. You're just relaxing those ankles. And so,
Right.
that's a very weird way to walk or run. So if you can get it by ChiWalking all the time and practicing that relaxation, then when you go for a run,
Yes.
you'll know if you're doing it or not. Okay.
Mhm.
So really, that's the whole reason for learning how to ChiWalk.
Can
All
I
right.
clarify a point just on that? Because the ankle lift is the pilling off, but the land is a land midfoot. Is that correct?
That's correct on ChiRunning. On ChiRunning, you're going to lift and land here. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
lift and here. In ChiWalking, it's lift and land on the heel.
Okay.
Okay, so it's landing on the front of the heel. So the front the front of your heel is right there.
It's on the
Here,
middle.
the front. Okay, so when you land, when you walk normally, conventionally, like way everybody walks, they reach out in front of them. They're straight. They straighten their leg and they land on their heel.
Right.
And ChiWalking, you're lifting, you're landing closer to the center of mass and on the front of your heel. So your foot is a lot lower. It's not here.
Right.
And the knee is bent. The knees are always bent in
That
ChiWalking.
football then changes as you're falling forward. Your foot just hits naturally differently because your dantian is kind of it's moved your center of gravity, so you're falling more midfoot.
Yes.
Then.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. You'll notice if you practice, you guys, practice walking to running and going back to a walk. So ChiWalk and increase your cadence. So when you ChiWalk, you can probably walk at about 120 steps per minute very easily. That'll be simple. It'll seem like it's super slow. And you can ChiWalk at 130, 140, and it doesn't feel like much effort because your stride is short and you're falling from your center. So if you practice ChiWalking to ChiRunning transition, start with a slow ChiWalk, so a slow cadence of 120 or so, and then increase your cadence as you fall forward more from your center. And then eventually it's going to not be comfortable anymore and you'll move right into a run. Okay. And you'll notice what happens when you do that. You should notice some subtle changes. Like you won't, as you're walking faster, you have a tendency to break at the waist in a walk. And when you start walking really fast and then you move into a run, you come up naturally into a better posture because your foot's landing more underneath you. Okay. So practice that one a little bit. It's a really interesting feeling to go from a ChiWalk to a ChiRun. And back again, ChiRun to ChiWalk. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you guys. It's great having you. See you next week.
Fantastic. Yes, see you next week. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Yay.